part of 5-3, which is finding trigonometric functions of an angle in standard position. I wrote it right up here a little bit different. Find the 6 trig values of any angle in standard position given a point on its terminal side. So what I want to explain is we have been talking about an angle on a unit circle. So let's say this is a unit circle right here. This is a unit circle. And if I gave a point right here, we were able to use the x and y value of that point right up there to help us define this. And we also knew that the r value, or the radius of the circle, was 1. Okay? So we had the 6 trig functions as sine of theta equals y over 1, which is just y. Cosine of theta is equal to x over 1, which is just x. Remember, it's adjacent over hypotenuse, and the hypotenuse is 1. Tangent of theta was going to be y divided by x, right? Opposite over adjacent, because this is x, this is y. And so forth. We could do cosecant was 1 over y. I wouldn't write this down again. You guys all have this down. I just want to make a point with it. Secant is 1 over x, and cotangent was x over y. Okay, we had all this down like that. Okay, what we are going to do now is we're going to say, okay, what if we have a point? What if I gave you a point out here somewhere? Let's say a point, I'm going to write it in blue right here. Let's say I give you this point right here. Now all of a sudden we have this line going out here. We still have along the positive x-axis, we have this angle theta. We can still create a triangle, can't we? And we can think of it as being on a circle like this. So we can think of this as, instead of being 1, we just call it r, because it can be any length right now, right? R. But this length is still x, and this length is still y, right? So what's the only thing that's going to change right here? R. Instead of having a 1, like we did on the unit circle, all of a sudden we have some other number other than 1. We're going to call it r. Okay? So the thing that's going to change right here is we are going to have an r instead of a 1. So what's the sign going to become? Y over r. That's exactly right. Instead of y over 1 on the unit circle, it's y over the hypotenuse. It's got to be opposite over hypotenuse, and the hypotenuse in this case is r. So write this down. Sine of theta equals y over r. This is for a non-unit circle. So this is when you have a non-unit circle. We did unit circle last time. This time it's a non-unit circle. Cosine of theta would be what? X over r. Tangent of theta. Yeah, it's still y over x. It didn't change, does it? It doesn't change at all. And the other 3 are reciprocals. So what's cosecant? It's what? R over y. And what's secant? R over x. And what's cotangent? It's what? X over y. And so we have those. So do you guys see how right triangle trigonometry is related to unit circle trigonometry is related to non-unit circle trigonometry? They're all 3 related. The same ratio. Sine is the same ratio. It's always opposite over hypotenuse. And cosine's always adjacent over hypotenuse. And tangent is always opposite over adjacent. It's just going to be that way every time. But we call them different names with unit circle. Okay, this is unit circle trigonometry over here, right? And this over here is non-unit circle trig, okay? So this next problem, I want you guys to draw this picture. I'm not going to draw it up here. I'm going to describe it, and I want you guys to do this. Does everybody have these written down? Because you're going to need these right here. You need these definitions. So everybody got them? Okay, here we go. What I'd like you to do right here, okay, it says find the values of the 6 trig functions for angle theta in standard position. What does it mean for an angle to be in standard position? We defined that the very first day we're doing trig. Where is the origin? Okay, yeah, the vertex is at 0, 0, I should say, at the origin. Where is the, where's the initial side? Along the positive x-axis. And where's the terminal side? Could be anywhere. You just turn an angle, right? Okay, what we're going to do, if a point with coordinates 5, negative 12 lies on its terminal side. Okay, everybody draw an xy axis and plot the point 5, negative 12. Check with the 2 people around you to make sure you did it right, because last class period when I did it, I had some people put it in the wrong quadrant. Think about where 5, negative 12 is. Plot that point. So we have the point 5, negative 12 graphed on here. Put theta up by the origin. You guys, theta is the angle up by the origin. Okay, you guys are finding the point. You guys are now finding the hypotenuse. Now, when you do this, it's plus or minus 13. When you solve it, it's plus or minus 13. So is it positive or negative? Yeah. Everybody write this down. The hypotenuse, or the radius r, will always be positive in these problems. Write that down. The hypotenuse will always be positive in these problems. So if you have a negative, it's going to be either the x or the y coordinate. It's going to be either the x or the y coordinate. Okay, so using the Pythagorean theorem, you guys found out that this side was 13, right? Because 5 squared is 25, negative 12 squared is 144, 25 plus 144 is 169, and the square root of 169 is 13. Got it? It's plus or minus 13, but we always have the positive for that. Now, we just went through and defined sine, cosine, tangent, and so forth. Okay, so sine of theta. Sine of theta was equal to what over what? Y over r. So what is it? Negative 12 13ths. Go through the rest of them and do them on your own. Okay, those are the answers there. We're stage inscribing this right here. Okay, so for this one, you're given the sine of theta equals negative 4/5. Figure out what x, y, and r are, and then figure out the the other 5 trig functions that you don't have. Okay, so you're figuring that out in your group. I keep forgetting to share the answers right here. So we figured out that y was negative 4, because sine is y over r. So y would be negative 4. R would be 5. We use the Pythagorean theorem. And we know that x is either positive 3 or negative 3. Since it's in the 3rd quadrant, we had to go left, so it's negative 3. And there's our 5 other trig values. Any questions on that? Okay. Switch shoulder partner. Last time we did the sage and scribe, switch who's doing what. I want you to do problem 12 on page 296. Last thing, and then I'm going to give you the assignment. Hey, by the way, what did you guys get Which two did you already have? Well, okay, you have cosine and secant. So what is secant? Okay, so it's just -2, right? 2 over -1 is -2. Okay, but what out of x, y, and r, which two are you given? Okay, what is x? Okay, so x is -1 and r is 2. What is y, you guys? Is it positive or negative? Why positive? Well, you can have a negative y, but it's in quadrant 2. You went, and y is the value that goes up or down, right? And it went up, so it's positive. Okay, so who wants to come up and get, who wants to write sine? Okay, you got sine. Who wants to do tangent? I don't know. No. Could be. Could be, yeah. Okay, you write tangent down. Cosecant. Cassidy, you got cosecant. Cotangent. Mallory, you got cotangent. Okay, go write them down, please. Yeah. Yeah. It can be just -√3 over 3. Okay, who else has got one? That's correct for sine. That's correct for cotangent. Yeah, 2√3 over 3, yeah. Hey, cosecant's correct. Who's going to do tangent? Who did I say to do tangent? Oh, yeah. Actually, no, I told Alex doing. I didn't get anybody at this table. Jack, be nimble and get up there. Jack, be nimble and get up there. How about anybody want to help him out at the table? It's a reciprocal of. Well, hey, what's the definition of tangent? So x over y. Look, what is x? Well, it's not x over y. Wait. No, erase that. It's y. Tangent's y over x.
Y over x. Yeah, that's what I had.
-1. What does that simplify to be? You put equals. No. Erase that. It's not correct. This is Smarty Pants. Who would that be?
Oh.
You had the first one right. √3 over -1 equals. What's a number divided by 1? What's 5 divided by 1? 5 divided by 1 is 5. What's 6 divided by 1?
Isn't it 3?
It's -√3. Why is it -√3?
No.
You have a square root of 3 and you divide by -1, it's -√3. Okay. All right, we're working on it. Okay. Hey guys, here's your assignment. Okay, write it down. I'm going to turn this off in just a second. Hey, you guys, once again, you should finish this easily in class, okay? If you want to finish this and go get your other thing, then you can.